Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now with the main headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi extends thanks and appreciation to Iraqis for their selfless services during Arbaeen. Newspaper reports experience of 2 converts during Arbaeen pilgrimage. French high school goes on strike over Islamophobic abaya ban. Canada Shia organised Hussein procession to commemorate the holy Arbaeen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. This is Yunus Dawood and you're watching Shia Waves live from London only on Imam Hussein TV 3. The Supreme Religious Authority, His Eminence Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq al-Hussein al-Shirazi, has extended his thanks and appreciation to the people of Iraq for their selflessness and sacrifices and services during the holy Arbaeen pilgrimage of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. In his word on the end of the holy ziyarah followed by Shia Waves, Grand Ayatollah Shirazi said that the Iraq people deserve to be highly appreciated. We all know that the most of them experience difficult living conditions, yet they spend money and time to host the honourable pilgrims of the holy Arbaeen. His Eminence also continued that these people have given sacrifices for the Arbaeen pilgrimage on various levels to serve the honourable pilgrims for days during this massive Arbaeen pilgrimage. He emphasised that Iraq deserves the best, noting that Iraq has all the elements of success, so why is it still in the states we see it today? He stressed that everyone should endeavour to reform and rebuild this country to an example in history and the world as it was time of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi also extended his thanks and appreciation to all those who participated in this holy ziyarah and offered their condolences to Imam al-Mahdi Ajjallah Ta'ala Farajuh Sharif. The online newspaper, The World, released a new report in which it told the story of 2 converts, Kaniz Fatima Alawi and Lisseth Diaz from Colombia, and their experience of participating in the ceremonies commemorating the Arbaeen of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala. Alawi and Diaz came to Iraq and were among the millions of visitors who performed the Husseini walk of love toward the holy city of Karbala. The newspaper said in its report, viewed by Shia Waves agency, that the March of Arbaeen is the largest annual religious gathering in the world, and officials expected more than 28 million people to participate. The newspaper pointed out that the young woman, Kaniz, who converted a while ago and chose the name Kaniza Fatima, confirmed that she feels something different in her heart during the participation in the 40th experience. It quoted her that colleague Diaz, who also converted a year ago, as saying, "I feel that here I can understand better and I can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." The newspaper noted that the Arbaeen introduces the world to the story of justice and sacrifice of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, which has become inspiring to many people. According to Al Jazeera, teachers and students of a French high school have gone on a strike in protest against the government decision to ban abaya and qamis in public schools. "We want to distance ourselves from the government's Islamophobic policy," said a statement from the protest group at Maurice Malouchro High School in Staines, calling for a strike, which started on Wednesday. The statement further noted that the students must be welcomed at the high school and there is no need to police their clothing. They also added that we refuse to stigmatize students who wear an abaya or a qamis. Parents joined the demonstration, during which the school staff decreed budget issues, criticizing what they called a drastic drop in necessary resources to teach well, including cuts on personnel and on teaching hours. The recent ban on Islamic dress code has sparked a wave of criticism from activists and the Muslim community who describe the decision as discriminatory, while the French government insists that it will secure secularism in the country. Let's take a look back at today's main headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi extends thanks and appreciation to Iraqis for their selfless service during Arbaeen. Global newspaper reports experience of 2 converts during Arbaeen pilgrimage. French high school goes on strike over Islamophobic abaya ban. Also tonight, Turkish European researchers affirm presence of Husseini cause in life of humanity. A large Hussein procession was held in the Canadian city of Toronto at Dundas Square to commemorate the holy Arbaeen of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The procession was organized by one of the devotees of Ahl Bayt alayhim salam, both men and women and of different ages, chanting the eternal slogan of Ya Hussein to renew their pledge of commitment to his humanitarian sacrifices. The organizers of the Hussein procession emphasize that every year the Hussein's sorrow and grief are renewed to remind the world of the injustice and tragedies that befell Imam Hussein alayhi salam and to spread his humanitarian values and principles. They added that the procession attracted the attention of the passers-by and other officials in the area who started asking to know more about its values. It should be mentioned that Shia Muslims around the world organize similar activities and processions in commemoration of the holy Arbaeen of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And now we'll continue with some short news. Devoted followers of Ahl Bayt alayhim salam, especially the young, publicly commemorated the Hussein Arbaeen in Syria and Bahrain, local media reported. In Syria, Shi'is in Damascus started their morning procession from the holy shrine of Sayyidah Ruqayya alayhi salam and continued to the holy shrine of Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam, while the mawqib on the way served them syrup, fruit water and food. In Bahrain, Shia mourners came to the streets of El Darraz area near Manama to participate in the ceremony and procession of Arbaeen. World-renowned Doha-based news agency Al Jazeera published an article by Sayyid Shahriyar on Thursday, September the 7th, to give a narrative of the Arbaeen pilgrimage in pictures. The article titled Photos Arbaeen, one of the world's largest annual pilgrimages in Iraq, showed various beautiful aspects of what is arguably the world's largest public gathering. Through a number of captioned photos taken from pilgrims, mawaqibs, volunteers and service stations, the image tries to capture the spirit of generosity and brotherhood shown by volunteers providing all sorts of services to the pilgrims and how everyone tries to be part of the great religious event. A large group of terrorists equipped with the latest weapons attacked two military checkposts on Wednesday, resulting in an intense exchange of fire, killing at least 4 Pakistani soldiers and 12 armed fighters. Al Jazeera reported that the outlawed Tehrik-e-Taliban, the TTP, armed group has claimed responsibility for the attack, which took place in the northwestern province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa near the Pakistan-Afghanistan border in Chetral district. A statement by the Pakistani military said the attacks were coordinated from the Kunar and Nuristan provinces of neighbouring Afghanistan. Pakistan has repeatedly asked Afghanistan to control the movement of armed groups and accused the Taliban government of not doing enough. More than 800 people have been rescued over the past 2 days from severe floods in Greece, local officials have said, after extreme rainfall turned into deadly rivers, tore down buildings and bridges and left whole villages submerged. The downpour has lasted days but is expected to weaken from Thursday afternoon, according to Greece's meteorological service. Rescue operations are now underway to try to reach those left stranded by the floodwaters, which have exceeded 2 meters, 6.5 feet in some parts of the country. The severe flooding comes just days after a 2-week deadly fire that tore through the north of the country, killing at least 18 people. At least 32 civilians have been killed and dozens injured in artillery attacks by the Sudanese army, one of the highest tolls from a single day of fighting since the war broke out in April. The activist group Emergency Lawyers said that the shelling on Tuesday took place in the Obdama neighborhood in western Omdurman. The statement released on Wednesday said a neighborhood that has been several deadly attacks. Rights activists and residents say that the regular army and the Parliamentary Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, are fighting for the control of the country, have fired missiles into populated areas, incurring hundreds of civilian casualties in the capital Khartoum and other cities. Scholars and clerics of various sects and religions have emphasized the great statues of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and the obvious impact of his revolution and their culture and history. The scholar's statement came during the intellectual forum held by the Karbala Center for Studies and Research under the title Karbala in the Heart of Turks. According to the centre's website, this forum is being held on the sidelines of the 7th International Conference of the Holy Arbaeen and in cooperation with the Thorough Foundation for Studies and Development. The centre explained that the forum witnessed special speeches about Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his great presence in the hearts of Turks and their life and culture, as in his presence the hearts of all his loyalists from around the world. It added that amongst the speeches and words delivered during the forum were most notably Karbala in the Heart of Turks by the Turkish researcher Hasan Kanat Ali, Karbala's humanitarian message by the world by the writer and journalist Qasim Adjan, and Karbala in the European thought by the writer journalist Jalil Dogdo. And the last word was Karbala in the thought of European women, presented by the researcher Iqbal Judoti. The centre continued that the intellectual forum was concluded with a touching speech by Revered Nikola Jakov under the title The Link Between Al-Hussein alayhi salam and the Orthodox Christianity. We have reached the end of today's Shia Waves show. Let's remind our viewers of today's headlines. Grand Ayatollah Shirazi extends thanks and appreciation to Iraqis for their selfless service during the Arbaeen pilgrimage. Global newspaper reports experience of 2 converts during the Arbaeen pilgrimage. French high school goes on strike over Islamophobic abaya ban. Shia loyalists in Canada organize Husseini procession to commemorate the Holy Arbaeen. Turkish and European researchers affirm presence of the Husseini cause in life of humanity. You can view the latest news or send news of your city or country to be published on our news agency. Contact us on the numbers at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for all watching, and we pray to Allah the Almighty to hasten the reappearance of the Master of our time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.